Okay, I think we are going to start our webinar. We have a little issue. Our colleague, which is gonna talk today, also has some issue with the internet problems. I will start my presentation, and I hope she will fix it, and then she will present it. Will present her presentation. But yeah. My name is Arturs. I work for DHL Express Latvia. Have been working in DHL for 4 years as an e-commerce. Also, I have been previously made some seminars and webinars about e-commerce. And also, I work with e-shops in Latvia, helping them to start shipping internationally. In today's webinar, I also have invited my colleague from United States, Rachel, who is also head of the e-commerce in the United States. I hope she will resolve her issues with the internet, and she is gonna be able to join us. But for now, I think I will start my presentation. If you have any questions, please put down your questions in the Q&A section, and after the presentation, I will answer them. But in today's presentation, I'm going to talk about sustainable packaging. What is sustainable packaging? Why it is important to start implementing sustainable packaging in your own businesses, how sustainable packaging can benefit your business and also can adapt to nowadays consumer needs, and also some really good examples how sustainable packaging helped other businesses, and also some ideas which you can implement in your own businesses. But let's start with simple question: what is sustainable packaging? The most easiest definition would be using 100% recycled and raw materials, minimal impact on the environment, and also making less CO2 footprint, minimal usage of the materials by making the package, and also reusable, and of course environmentally friendly. But now let's play a game. I have a question for you all. You can put down your answers in the comment section, and after it I will go through and then I'll tell you the answer. But the question is, what word describes sustainable packaging the best in your opinion? And please put down your answers in the chat. So is the chat working or nobody just answering? Oh, here are some answers. I see. Yes, natural, reusable, recyclable. Okay. Anybody else? CO2 neutral. Yeah. Strong, eco, green. All right. Very good. Eatable. Yes, also. All right. I think it was plenty enough and really good answers. But there isn't just a one word which can describe sustainable packaging or sustainable products, but there are 3 words. The first one is reduce. How I previously told you in the definition, minimal usage of the materials by making the package. It's also by redesigning, using lighter materials or using just less materials. The next word is reuse. By making the package reusable over and over again, or maybe making it for other purposes, like maybe we can make it from our boxes, a stool or a chair. And the last one, of course, is recycled, which makes our product or packaging unique because we took the materials from basically from other products who were recycled. But now let's talk about why it is important that we need to start implementing sustainable packages or sustainable products in our businesses. First of all, of course, it reduces environmental pollution. Our planet is going to be much more cleaner. We will see less rubbish around us. Also, nature really depends on our actions, how we use the materials and resources for for building stuff, for building products. Animals also really depend on these resources because they are really big part of the ecosystem, which can implement how the world and climate is changing. Also, by making more sustainable and more efficient products and packages, we can expand its life cycle, but not using and not reducing more materials by making more packages. And also your business can benefit from it because you can reduce some costs by not using or using less materials. And here in my left corner, you can see there is an Instagram account with an Instagram profile, and it's an Instagram profile for a tree. And this tree has about, interesting thing, about 4,000 followers. It has more than I do. But the interesting thing is it is because the world is changing and people are starting to making basically profiles for not living stuff, where also our customer behavior also is changing. And let's talk about that more. Why we need to change, when we need to be more sustainable. Here I have really good some facts about how our customer behavior is changing. And here we can see that 66% of the global consumers are willing to spend more on a product if it comes from sustainable brands. And 73% of them are millennials. What is important in millennials? Previously in my own seminars, webinars, I have talked about millennials, how important they are because they are changing the market. And here we can see that sustainable product sales in the US from 2014 until 2021 had went up really dramatically because millennials are the generation which really believe that they can basically change the market and also customer behavior, because a lot of these millennials are now in those positions where they are the decision makers. And most of the time they will use partners who are more environmentally friendly, more sustainable. They also will use more sustainable, more efficient materials, and also will choose to buy more sustainable products. And that's why they can really change the supply chain and impact other businesses and also maybe your business. But now I want to talk more about businesses. And here I have one business named Rilo, who is basically a retail store who sells mobile phones. But the catch is they are sustainable and more efficient because they don't buy new phones, they buy used phones. Then they fix them up, freshen them up, so they look as new. And then they sell it to their customers in their own boxes. Also, Rilo needed a solution to reduce some costs. And one of the solution was by redesigning package. And what they changed was they used by 11% lighter materials to make the package. Also, they used by 21% less glue to make their packages. And in the result of it, they reduced their shipping costs by 21%, which really helped them to attract new customers. Also, existing customers were more excited about it because they could also start buying more from them because the lower shipment costs. But Rilo isn't the only company who is changing. Really big companies also are changing the way to be more sustainable and more efficient and more environmentally friendly. Like McDonald's announced that they will use 100% renewable and recycled packages for their orders and their products. Also, a really big company named in United States, Walmart, also announced that they will use recyclable and reusable packaging by 2025. And these aren't the only one companies who are changing, not only Rilo, McDonald's, Walmart. And this isn't the reason just you need to change to be more sustainable, but also we are changing to be more environmentally friendly, more sustainable. And also our business has ambition, and our mission by 2015 will be zero emission, and we call it the Go Green. And I think a lot of you will have some questions how we are gonna to manage it. The first thing is to increase our carbon efficiency. We already are changing our airplanes to be more fuel efficient. Also, to use more environmentally friendly fuel. And we hope by 2013, we will have our first electric airplane for delivering shipments. Also, we are changing our courier buses to electric buses. And in some of the countries, we also use bicycles to deliver the shipments. The next thing, what we are doing, we are educating our employees to be more efficient, more sustainable. How we do it is in our offices, we recycle our rubbishes. Also, we have more efficient offices where we use less energy. And we try to educate our employees to get these habits and take them to their homes where they can influence their families and friends. And also in each country, we plant trees to give something back to the nature. And these are the main things that we are doing to be more sustainable. But now I want to talk about more about those previous 3 key main words which describe sustainable packaging the best. I want to transfer you some ideas which you can implement in your own businesses. The first one was reduce, and I think Rilo, the company which I previously talked about, was a really good example how by just using lighter material, using less glue, you can reduce shipping costs. Also, you can save some money on the materials what you are using. And also it helps Rilo attract more people, which can also help you attract your own new customers. But I also have another really good example. Here I have from United States, a student had a solution for Colgate toothpaste to be more sustainable, more efficient. The idea, what he did was pretty easy, basically. What he did was he just took out the box in which was the toothpaste. Then he edited additional stuff to the toothpaste so it could be easier to put it in the stores. And also he redesigned the toothpaste to look more sustainable. And I think the design by itself already attracts more people to buy them from the competitors. And I think by redesigning your own products, you also can attract more people to start buying from you, which can help you grow. The next thing is reuse. Make reusable packages so you can use them over and over again. How I previously also told you, we can use it in a different ways or make them in a different stuff, like maybe your shipping box can make to this into the stool or into the chair, or maybe in a table game for children. And also it's more innovative, more original. And also I think by that you can really attract more customers, also start to buy from you because you are more original than your competitors. In this picture, I hope everybody can see there are 3 packs, and these packs we are implementing in our business, and I hope we will start to testing them really soon. But how it works, when a customer buys from you, you call our courier, he comes in, he just takes the product what customer bought. He doesn't take the box or anything else, he just takes the product. He puts it in this pack, closes down, labels it, and then we ship it to the customer. Then our courier is delivering the shipment to your customer. When he arrives, he just takes out the package, and not the package, takes out the product and gives to your customer. And the package stays with us, and we can reuse it over and over again for other shipments, or maybe for return shipments. And also, if something happens to this package, it gets damaged, I don't know, or ripped, we can recycle it or fix it. And this is also one way how we are trying to be more sustainable, so we don't need to buy more carton to make new packages. And the last one was recycled. Think about using more environmentally friendly materials by making your own packages, because nowadays there are more than one alternatives from what you can make your own packages. For example, you can use materials like vegetables, fruits. I know IKEA already is using mushrooms for their filament, package filament, so they don't damage their products. And also there is a company which is making packages from wool, which has a really good isolation. And maybe this kind of package really suits your business and also can make your business more sustainable and more environmentally friendly. But to summarize my presentation, I want to give you some suggestions that you can take to start implementing maybe some of ideas and be more sustainable or more efficient. Don't change everything at once. Start by making small adjustments, test it out, see how it works, if it suits your company or not, or how your customers will react to it. Is it attracting them or not attracting them? The next thing, also think about redesigning your products or your also packages so it looks more sustainable, because nowadays it really can attract more customers from buying for you, and it really makes you a strong competitor, because millennials also can really influence younger generations to be more environmentally friendly. And these younger generations are the future of our consumers, our buyers, and also maybe some employees. And also consider using more eco-friendly products, like I previously told you. Choose more alternatives It also makes your business stand out from other businesses because you are making products from other materials. If you make from vegetables, it's already more interesting than making from, I don't know, from wood or metal. And these kind of little things can really impact your customer attention. Also, don't forget to put this information in your e-commerce stores so your customers know what you are doing to be more environmentally friendly, more sustainable. If he doesn't read this, doesn't see it, he will never know. And from me, it's basically all. If you have any questions, please put down in the Q&A section. I will answer them now, and I hope our colleague will be with us soon. And yes, this webinar be only about packaging? No. And I see my colleague is here. Very good. Yeah, she arrived. Yeah. Rachel, can you join us? Yeah, you are on.
I am.
Yeah,
hello.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect. I started sooner. Yeah, so I think you can prepare and start your presentation. And if anybody of you have some questions for Rachel, put down in comment section and we will answer it later.
Great. First off, thank you for having me, and I'm so very sorry. Time zone changes and any number of things. So appreciate being here. So you already covered the sustainability piece. Let me give myself a bit of an introduction, I suppose, unless you already did that. Should I?
No, you can do it. You can do it. Yeah,
okay.
Lots of people are really interested.
All right. Well, no pressure. I think, so hello, hi, my name is Rachel Mcgarry. I am I head up our e-commerce segment within DHL Express US. My responsibility here is the development of e-commerce, right? So we definitely work with our global customers and colleagues, and really honored to be here today. Really excited to present to you a little bit about the US market. So let me figure out my my technical side of things so I can display my screen. Bear with me for just a moment. All right. Do I have permission to just share the screen?
Yeah, you need to have.
I think I got it here, whether it was just allowed. You wouldn't mind just making sure, keep me honest here, that it appears. You see something here.
I can see it, and I think everybody else can see it.
That means everybody else can too. Okay, great. So yeah, I mean, the purpose of the visit of our time together here today is to talk about a few main things. So the main things being, I want to just do an overview on the US. I want to give her some insights just on our local market, what to expect, to help you prepare or help you accelerate yourself and selling into an exciting market. So without further ado, I think we already covered the sustainability piece, and I'll just say that that's a growing, I wouldn't even say it's a trend, it's almost a necessity in terms of what a US buyer is looking for, and in terms of maybe responsible consumerism, where people are making choices. And again, sorry I missed, I'm sure you covered that, but I would just echo that sentiment for the US folks as well. So let me just get started with USA at a glance. What this means here is, I mean, there's a lot of stats, okay? So there's a lot of statistics, a lot of numbers. And I'll tell you, this slide was updated at the end of 2019. And of course, within about 6 months, it was completely outdated. We all lived through and are living currently through the biggest digital, let's call it an accelerant of the century. So let's just start there. And I think it's impossible to talk about e-commerce without mentioning COVID, without mentioning the pandemic. So this has just been an incredible accelerant, and it shows no sign of stopping. So I just wanted to just kind of call that out, right? But let's go through some of these pieces. I think, maybe yourself, you have a story as well, but the pandemic basically, right, prompted the retailers out of necessity to move online, and the buyers, absolutely. And those that were online stayed online, and those that weren't online got online quickly. So a lot of stats, what I'll cover at the top line, there's 331 million people in the United States, 85% of which shop online. So again, that's been accelerated greatly over the last 18 months, right? But when you think about it, do the math, quick math, it's about 281 million potential customers in the United States that are actively buying online. There's been over 14% of growth in the e-com market too, fueled, of course, as I mentioned before, through COVID. But now more than ever before, the population is online and comfortable buying online and more comfortable buying cross-border, right? So that's significant. I'd say it's probably less to do with where it comes from and more about how quickly it's going to get to my doorstep, right? How quickly, how much ease, how frictionless is it for that purchase and the discovery to experience, etc. So it's incredible, it's wonderful, but it's an exciting place to be, and it's a growing market. It was big before, it's even bigger now. And I think that in terms of, it's about, physically, it's about half the size of Russia, right? So to kind of put some space in context there. And it's known as the melting pot, where it's just an immersion of cultures globally. And I would say the one key topic and something that's continuing to grow is that there's a growing Hispanic and Spanish speaking population within the United States. And I think, good to know as you would potentially open up new markets within the US, that Spanish is a growing area and an important demographic to reach out to. So I will go into some of the other facts, and this is really just pointing out the growth, right? Again, we talked about growth. This is the percent of e-commerce sales as opposed to, basically all of retail sales, what's being funneled through e-commerce channels or digital channels. And as you can see, kind of just up and to the right, we keep growing, and as buying behavior continues. And again, no sign of stopping. What I call out to you, and I think, people's eyes bug out a little bit to see that the US is going to buy $1.3 trillion worth of goods online by 2025. And when you consider a lot of the digital transformation, both of small and large merchants globally, that's not too far away, right? That's spending habits that are ingrained and accelerating. So that's exciting. So let's talk about what people are buying, right? So the types of goods that people are buying online, and may help you as you consider and look at your own product and category portfolio. So here's the most popular categories that US buyers buy online. Really dominated in the top 5 as things are, where it's clothing, shoes, books, consumer electronics. They really dominate the market. We saw a large change around food and drinks, right? With grocery stores offering online opportunities or direct delivery. Cosmetics and health products are also very, very popular to be purchased online. Very, very commonly used and easy to move through customs, and we'll touch on that a little bit later. But this is where you'll see the top categories where people are most comfortable buying online. So you have a big market, you have a great product, beautiful website, but in order to really optimize the revenue coming from the US, you really need to understand how consumers in markets prefer to pay, right? So you have the ability to take a preferred payment method. If you do, right, if you do have it, you stand to win. If you don't, you could have put a ton of marketing effort, right, a lot of product development, and without the ability to close, you really, it's tough, right? So I want to make sure that we highlight what's the most commonly used payment methods here. The majority of online payments, as you'll see on the slide, flow through credit cards, mobile wallets like an Apple Pay or PayPal, debit cards. That's, I would say, the fair majority. And I would encourage you, to explore that. And again, that's most common and most commonly used. And I'll show you on the next slide, which is where you'll see that in marketplaces. So this is how people pay. This is how people make a purchase. And this is where people look. So US shoppers look for goods, they look everywhere, right? There's that direct channel through, a shop on Shopify or Magento or any number of those e-commerce platforms that people generally use to build and develop their websites. And then these online marketplaces that are usually a part of an omni or multi-channel selling experience. And the expectation is really within the US that you'll have products available in multiple places. So to sell on marketplaces, of course, the Amazon is the giant, the leader in the area, but we also, eBay as well, Target, Walmart. These giants really represent the majority of all of consumer spending in the online spending. However, it's like the direct style as well. I think the expectation really is to see products in multiple places, so that you can really get yourself out there and build your brand. So let's talk about buying influences for the US consumers. There are some key stats that are important to know, right? And I think looking at price, 87% of price, right? We're driven by price. We want to be able to look at price and make that's a huge influence. Shipping cost and speed, very important. Discounted offers used to really, and I'll touch on this maybe a little bit later, but using discount offers or coupon codes to drive, accelerate the conversion at checkout. Reviews are very important, right? Being able to evaluate the product itself, hear what other people think about it and how people have used it. Again, very compelling and looked for pretty consistently within the US market. And then flexible returns or free returns. That's just kind of overwhelmingly looking at the general influences, but I would almost say vital influences. So according to a 2021 cross-border e-commerce report, the two top barriers to cross-border purchasing were expensive shipping. That was about 45% of the surveyed customers, and slow product delivery, which is about 36%. So that's why it's really critical that cross-border merchants and global sellers offer options, right? Offer options to make sure that they're optimized for both speed and cost. It's sometimes a bit of a balance. But shipping is used to drive conversion. I think that middle 80% shipping cost and speed would almost pair very well with discount offers. It is used as leverage to drive conversion. You may have seen this meme before, but I think the message is super true. Where you have somebody it's a $25 product with $5 shipping and nobody wants it. But if you change the price of the product to $30 and offer free shipping, all of a sudden conversion goes. So it's again just a way that we influence its buying behavior, and it's using shipping as an opportunity to drive, not just the overall experience, although it does, but it's also driving conversion. So delivery experience, I touched on this a little bit as well. So delivery experience is a vital component of overall customer experience. So building loyalty. I talk about it like this. So we have from discovery of a new product to delivery is the overall experience. And there's a responsibility from the business owner, from the brand, to evaluate the customer touch points on each part of that. And delivery is a key element of that. And that's where DHL Express really shines, in my view, where we have customer experience through our on-demand delivery product. But what I want to touch on is how this blends in what you can use from our on-demand delivery to view or to consider the US buyer, both behavior, but delivery preferences. So if we look at it here, if you look at the bottom, what I'm going to highlight to you is how US buyers choose to have their packages or their shipments delivered. So they use so much of the scheduled delivery. They have, I mean, a lot of times we want to release the signature, don't want to be there, leave it at my doorstep. It's a secured environment, we're okay. Not much at leaving with a neighbor, although that happens from time to time, likely in that concierge, a variation. Leaving at alternate addresses. I mean, that just gives you both a peek at our value proposition and how it's utilized by global brands to a US market where they allow themselves the flexibility and convenience of using on-demand delivery to ensure a really, really positive delivery experience that's, you know, in the palm of someone's hand. And then let's get into some of the highlights for just getting through the door, essentially, right? While I don't want to like have our time be incredibly detailed and customs, I think I'd really encourage you to reach out to your sales representative, or you know, we can use some Q&A afterwards, etc. But happy to go through that at another time. But highly encourage you to reach out to your local representative. But I want to give you kind of the overview, just a little fact sheet. The thing that I probably want to highlight most is what's an appealing area when others sell into the United States, which is our de minimis limit is $800, 800 US dollars. So one shipment per day at below that level is not a, duties and taxes are not assessed, right? You can go in, it's considered low value, and it's very, what that speaks to, I think, is two reasons. One is that's good for you, for the most part, just to know it's a relatively low barrier of entry when it comes to shipping direct to consumer into the US. That's wonderful. The other is to point out that if you have products that are above that, I will say that the vast majority of US buyers aren't familiar with spending or with getting additional fees upon import, right? That's not because the majority of what we do falls under that limit. There's two things, and I would just make sure that you know that it's not usual that a US buyer would have to pay duties and taxes because of the de minimis. So know that. And two, if you review and see that maybe your products going into the US would leverage a cost at checkout, consider two things. One, transparency. So the US and the US buyer, as much as we want reliability, as much as we want all the other things, we need transparency to build some trust as well. So if you have something that you know is going to invoke a charge upon entry, and you send it duties and taxes unpaid, please let them know. I think if people will understand, if they have transparency, if they understand that they're likely to be a fee. But probably best in class would be to send it direct, duties and taxes paid, and have the opportunity to pay for it or transfer the cost elsewhere. So I want you to know that. I think that's an important one. A relatively, like I said, a low barrier of entry when it comes to getting into the country. But do your due diligence, evaluate it, because you want to make sure that you really protect that customer experience and drive loyalty. So the rest of this, I think that I want to just, again, there's some people in the e-com world that want to do their own research. So I want to give you some customs links, give you some your own research so that you can evaluate for yourself. But of course, reach out. We are trusted advisors in this space. We want to be that. We want to guide and help you enter into new markets quickly and profitably. But that said, take a look. So we have Customs Border Patrol, Food and Drug Administration. If there's, sometimes depending on what you're sending, classification of goods, so you can look at duty rates, etc., and overall regulation. So want to make sure that you are equipped and you can educate yourself, but at the same time, we really want to partner with you moving forward to give you what you need to enter, like I said, properly into the United States. That covers it for the most part for me. Would love to open it up if there's questions or if we want to field any sort of discussion, certainly open to that.
Yeah, we have only, the first question, what we have Please explain more about the minimus limit. What does it exactly one shipment per day means? One shipment per seller or buyer?
Good question. It's the recipient. So it's the U.S. So by person in the U.S. that's accepting the goods, it would be the one limit, and it's looking at the total value, right? So we don't limit it. It's the $800 cap limit per day.
Yes. Yes. And the next question, will be possible to receive this presentation by email? Yes, of course, we will send you the materials after the seminar. And here's the best way how to integrate DHL shipping in Shopify is directly. You have plugins or via third-party apps. Here, I think I can answer it. All in the US, there.
I can answer that.
Yeah.
So just to clarify, I'm going to answer it within the expectation that there is a US store looking to integrate with DHL Express. That so I'm going to answer through that. We do offer an app called DHL Express Commerce. So number one, I would just encourage you to reach out to your sales representative and we can guide you through that process. And depending on what you're looking for, that's, live rates at checkout, or if you're looking to, import orders and print labels, etc. Those are other different paths as well. But again, most importantly, reach out, and happy to give my contact information as well if there's something that I can do directly.
Yeah, another question. If operations are done from Latvia, is there a way how to connect with someone in USA? If the operations are done from Latvia, someone in USA. I think I will return to this question later. I will specify more, and I will.
Yeah. Generally speaking, yes, there's going to be somebody in the U.S. you can reach out to. Just probably would need a little bit more information on what you're looking to achieve. But we have a lot of people here to support.
Yes, I think it was the last question. Maybe somebody else has a question. Seems like, yeah, it seems like everybody are good with it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for participating in our webinar. I hope everybody gathered some really useful information from my presentation and also from Rachel's presentation. And if you have another question, you can also just email us and we will answer it. And also after this presentation, we will all send you the materials, what we gathered in this webinar. So thank you, everybody. Yeah, have everybody a nice day and see you soon on our next webinar. Yeah, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.